Dropping the mask we wear day to day, building real trust in a brand new way. For a deeper connection, let's explore on transparent conversations. Transparent conversations, where every word can open doors. Transparent conversations. Yeah.
Talk about it. All right, let's talk about it. Welcome back to my show, Transparent Conversations, Elevated Exchanges, where we talk about politics, progressive politics. I'm basically doing everything I can to see that as many progressives get elected that are eligible to get elected, because I don't believe that we'll be able to move forward with the current crop of Democrats that are running. I don't think their hearts are into it, and I don't think they actually care about winning. As we've seen since 2016 up to now, nothing's gotten better. It's all gotten worse. And as far as they're concerned, they're fine. They're fine with it. So my name is Calvin, or CPJR, or you can call me CPJR if you feel me. This is Transparent Conversations, Elevated Exchanges, Progressives or Bust. Because I will not be voting for any more APAC Democrats. It's impossible not vote for a APAC Republican, because they're just in the pocket. You know what I'm saying? When you hear someone talking as if Israel is part of America, most likely it's a Republican. So I want to just talk about what I want to talk about in this episode is the Democrats don't represent the people that call themselves Democrats. And we started seeing this when Bernie would have won the nomination. They somehow came up with a whole process that Hillary won and took it from Bernie. A lot of people were disenfranchised then, disillusioned with the Democratic Party, and a lot of people went third party. I was of the opinion that, blue no matter who was the best way to go. But as we're learning more and more, our votes have consequences. And at this point, our votes are either voting for a continued genocide in Gaza, Lebanon, the Middle East, or you're going to be on the right side of history. That's how I see it. Excuse me. That's how I see it. This is basically either we're voting for genocide or not. It is just that cut and dry. But everything is kind of connected too, because they also want to use this new technology, this new thing they call AI, which isn't really AI, to actually gather up all of the information, put it behind a paywall, and make you pay for it. Right now, the internet's free, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? You are the product. But pretty much you could go on the internet right now, go into Google, or now I used DuckDuckGo, but go into a search engine, type of search, you'll get results back. But they want you to pay for that. They want you to actually type into a bot and let the bot give you the exact answer, not telling you where the sources are. I don't know why that's better. I didn't like it when I first heard it. I don't like it now. So if you've been here before, thank you for coming back. This is your first time. Thank you for checking me out. If you get a chance and it's something that you want to support, please like, subscribe, and share so that we can grow this content and bring more people into the tribe. So the tribe that want to have transparent conversations. I'm definitely want to start doing more conversation on spirituality. I kind of want to get away from doing so much politics because I'm disillusioned watching, and I'm not only am I disillusioned about what's happening every day. I think the more and more I watch independent media, I'm also getting disillusioned because it's not a monolith. It's not a monolith. And then just based on the fact that we didn't really know Israel until now has me looking at every one of them kind of weird. Like I know Martin Lamont Hill got fired for his stance, but I haven't seen too many other media personalities or journalists, whatever you want to call yourself, being fired for their stances on Israel. Not a hardcore, this is a genocide. You people are genocidal savages. All you want to do is take over the Middle East. I haven't seen it because they've all come under control. And now they're all doing the same thing about how this is so terrible, that this is genocide, how it's so terrible, we've been supporting this all this time, but still are still passing out the same tropes or still saying the same stories or the same narratives that the worst thing in the world that could happen is Iran could get a nuclear weapon. And I come against that. I don't think that we've had the same way we never got an honest look at Israel, the same for Iran. Because I had to sit down myself and think about all the Muslim people I know people from Iran too. And I'm like, I haven't seen any of that in what they're talking about. But they always tell me about how things are complicated in their countries because of the United States. That's the thing. And then I think that there's so many people who call themselves independent journals. They keep saying the same thing. Iran is the number one sponsor of terrorists because they sponsor groups in Lebanon, Hezbollah, things like that. But I'm looking at, do y'all see the biggest terrorists in the Middle East right now who seem to just attack everybody, steal Palestinians' houses and all that, but don't say anything? You'll say it's wrong, but then you won't do anything to stop them because they know that you won't stop them. I don't know what that's about. I'm still looking for that answer. Why has the world subjected themselves to the state of Israel? I wish somebody could tell me that question. So I'm gonna go ahead and I wrote a short paragraph. If you can't call a genocide. Now, this is how I'm gonna choose who I vote for in the upcoming midterms. Right? I'm not voting for. There are some Democrats that I will not vote for in my state. They're heavily backed by AIPAC. Some politicians have endorsed politicians under AIPAC, or politicians who are supported by AIPAC. And I'm gonna tell you the reason why I'm not gonna do it. A long time ago, back in 2010, I'm on the wrong screen. A long time ago, back in 2010, I had some friends that used to. Well, I was in an organization, This Week in Blackness. It was a podcast. It's a little group, political group, and they used to talk about the problems with the Democratic Party, and they weren't sure if they were going to keep voting for Democrats because Democrats often take our needs, the Black community, African American community in America, for granted. Right? I'm like, I get it, but who else we gonna vote for? Right? So we're at this point now. And they didn't vote for any people. And then you saw a number of people in the first Trump election voted third party. Because and I didn't understand what it was about, but if you stand for something or fall for anything, the Democrats are not our friends, right? They are corporatists. I believe that to my heart. They're corporatists. They want to protect the status quo, the corporations, their money, their families, and if they can help us out while still getting ahead, then they'll do that too. Right? They don't necessarily believe in racism. They kind of believe everybody should have some support, but the radical things of, single payer health care, Medicare for all, those type of things, just housing affordability for all, just those type of things, they've been going off because now, as we've seen with Mondami coming out, he's against Israel. He's against sending weapons to them. The litmus test is coming up. Section 224. They got a $3.4 billion bill sitting funding bill in the defense realization plan, or whatever they call it, whatever the bill they got set up for defense, and there's money in it for Israel, $3 billion. Then they want to buy weapons. They want to say, no, they can only buy defensive weapons. We don't want them to have any weapons, right? The majority of America, I know, right now wants to put a pause on any aid, money, or weapons going to Israel because they seem to have a genocide problem. So I wrote this statement down, how if you can't get a Democrat to call it a genocide, that's not a true Democrat, because it's not blue no matter who, because there's some blue Democrats. Some of them have dual citizenship that's in Congress. They have dual citizenship in Israel and America, and they believe that no matter what Israel does, we are supposed to support them, and that's not how this works. As far as I'm concerned, if we can get AIPAC money out of if your representative don't see AIPAC as a problem, you need to get rid of them. They don't, because here I'm gonna read this. If you can't call a genocide like the genocide that's being carried out by Israel against the Palestinians in Palestine, then I already know that you will never step up to the fascists, tech bros, and centrists trying to destroy the democracy in this country. Obviously, you decided that you have no issues with fascism as long as you get what you need. This country will not survive unless we start electing politicians that have a vision that includes all of America. And that's where we are. So if you were elected, if you were in office from 2010, 2016 on up to now, then you are of the system. You are the system. You should be primaried. You should be called out about the mess in the Middle East. Israel, what is your vision? What is your plan? They gave us their vision and their plan, which was Project 2025, and they're going on with it, right? Nonstop, full steam ahead. They don't care about the Constitution, laws, courts, crimes against humanity. They don't care who they torture, beat, or kill. They're going forward. And yet in our party, we have, not my party, I'm an independent, but in the Democratic Party, you have candidates who will do nothing but get upset that the people, the Democrats who voted in primaries, chose a Democratic Socialist instead of a centrist Democrat, and now they're upset and want to wreck the whole election. So what they're saying is, what they're telling you, America, is that what's happening now is worse than having a Democratic Socialist who wants to represent you and do all of what Madami's doing in New York. So around Madami, universal health care, universal daycare, public stores, rent freezes, trying to get the people who take people to take care of their rental property, their businesses, and they'll have people living in bad living conditions and with landlords not taking care of their business. He's there, balance the budget, taxing millionaires. So he's there doing things for the people, but then you have the so-called Democrats upset by that because they should have did the same thing. So now the funniest thing that I love seeing is when you have a debate against a Democratic Socialist and a Democrat, and the Democrat saying, "Oh, he can't do," and then the Democratic Socialist saying, "Well, this is the vision. This is what we can do and what we should be doing." And then when they get elected, that's what they do. And for some reason, Democrats are afraid. So I'm gonna go through these videos right quick. I'm trying to keep this definitely under an hour. Let me go ahead and tell you a little housekeeping. Yeah, I did. This is I did an episode on Sunday, and I'm doing another episode on this Sunday. So I did talk about the fact that I think I talked about. I will be going back to work very soon. But I was out of work for the last couple of months. I've been doing this like full time, but once I go back to work Thursday, if everything works out correctly. I'm not sure how much time that I'll have to do episodes. I'll probably just cut back to one a week because this stuff is tiring to look at all the time, because it is so bad. And we're gonna start out with this first, to show you just the amount of corruption that we see on a daily basis is just the worst I've ever seen ever. In any presidency. It's just out and out corruption and lies. And even this celebration of our 250th birthday, this country, was a grift, right? There was a money that Congress allocated to be used for an American 250. The Trump and his boys, they set up a Freedom 250 and stole the money. That's what they do. And then they put on a show that nobody attended. So this is America.
This year's 250th anniversary events commemorating our founding fathers saying no kings were supposed to be planned by a non-partisan organization created by Congress called America 250. But in king-like fashion, Trump and his MAGA allies went around Congress and created their own party planning committee, confusingly named Freedom 250. This new group, which claims to be nonpartisan, is planning competing events all year that do little more than glorify Donald Trump. And of course, Donald Trump's personal business is trying to trademark the term Trump 250, along with a logo that looks nearly identical to America 250. Trump's online store is already selling sweatshirts, a $200 blanket, and golf balls with the logo, and merch will surely be sold at Freedom 250 events all year. But this begs the question, who is paying for these Freedom 250 festivities? You. At least in part. That's because Freedom 250 has gained access to taxpayer funds allotted by Congress last year for the 250th anniversary celebrations. Trump's Department of the Interior has reportedly given $100 million to Trump's propaganda group, and so far, only $25 million to the nonpartisan America 250. And unlike the group created by Congress, Trump's Freedom 250 organization doesn't have to disclose anything about its spending until 2027. Even worse, Freedom 250 is soliciting donations from major corporations that either have government contracts or other business before this administration. Major donors so far include Lockheed Martin, ExxonMobil, Oracle, Palantir, MasterCard, and United Airlines. And any corporation that gives $1 million or more will reportedly get invitations to a private Freedom 250 thank you reception hosted by Trump. Gee, I wonder what they'll discuss. So to recap, President Trump and his allies are using taxpayer dollars to spread his political agenda and granting private donors presidential access, all under the guise of celebrating America's 250th birthday. This pay-to-play MAGA cronyism might be Donald Trump's definition of a birthday bash, but it certainly isn't.
So there you have corruption, and I'm going to go right to the next video. It's going to talk about how much corruption we're seeing. We've seen a plan just to steal the money. And remember, the reflecting pool is still messed up. $16 million already gone. I'm sure when they come back with the next estimate, it's going to be more money gone to his people. These are all no bid contracts. So this is what's happening with the corruption in America, and why you can't. The people that have been in office for the last since 2016 are all suspect. They're all a suspect. Probably not the Democratic Socialists, the people that don't take PAC money, but anybody that does are not representing the people. They're representing their corporations, their masters.
While Americans are drowning in bills, members of Congress have bought and sold more than $2 billion in stocks over the last 3 years. This is not a Republican problem. It's not a Democrat problem. It's an American problem, and it's one that we should all be able to come together and solve. So let's start over here with this pyramid. This pyramid represents all 535 members of Congress. Each cup is 5 members. And as you can see, nearly half the members of Congress own individual stocks. Whether every trade was legal is not the point. The point is that public power and private financial gain should not overlap. Americans should not have to wonder whether a vote was cast for country or for someone's portfolio. Now let me show you the scale of this problem. Each one of these cups in that pyramid behind me represents $2 million in reported stock trades. And over the last 3 years, members of Congress have reported roughly $2.3 billion in stock trades. It's 1,150 cups. That is a mountain of trades. It's a mountain of questions. One cup represents about 25 years of the average worker's salary. There's enough money in this cup to pay Social Security benefits for roughly 86 retirees for a full year. So when people ask, what's the big deal? This is the big deal. Public office should not be a profit center. And we finally have someone willing to change the rules. Representative Chris Pappas of New Hampshire is helping lead the No Getting Rich in Congress Act, because this bill just doesn't complain about the problem. It goes after the structure that currently allows members of Congress and their families to own and trade individual stocks while serving in office. No member of Congress, their spouse, or their children should be trading individual stocks while serving in office. Assets would have to be sold or placed into qualified blind trust. If Congress wants to rebuild confidence with us, it should require less faith. If you agree, call Representative Chris Pappas and let him know to keep pushing. Let him know Americans support this bill and demand that congressional leadership hold a vote. Because when someone is finally willing to change the rules, they need our support. Congress rarely reforms itself without public pressure, and freedom isn't a spectator sport. It requires participation. This isn't about politics. This is about public trust. And if you're one of them, drop me a comment. Trust. Share this with a friend.
So we see Sully Dog. I've played his videos before with the cups and just showing you, like, from that very first video from Freedom 250. Every time there's a chance or a pool of money, because most people that got rich, a lot of it came from the government. Like, they found a way to get a government contract and then get more government contracts and that make them rich. Elon Musk, Tesla, the credit for buying electric. Well, that's why that car was sold so well in America. But supposedly it's a good car too. I'm not going to take from that, but he didn't invent the car. So it was a good product met up with some government programs, didn't have too much competition and dominated the market. So that's government money there. And now, no government money. I don't hear nothing from Tesla no more. So just to show, like the first 2 videos on corruption, now we're gonna move down to the comedy part of the show. So I guess the National Guard here in the DC in 250, the celebration of the White America celebration. They decided that, why not have a racist rally too? And the Tiki Torch Brigade showed back up with their khaki pants and face masks to walk around DC and look stupid. I don't know what makes a grown man decide to put on a mask and walk around DC talking about, I don't know, the great replacement theory. You look like stupid idiots doing that. This is a safe city. Obviously what you're doing is dumb because you're wearing a mask. Nobody's going to take you seriously. And the reason you chose DC was because of the police presence and the National Guard is here. So now the president has made this country safe, safe as it's ever been for white racists. Thank you, Mr. President, for making it safe for racists in the United States.
White nationalists and white supremacists are marching on Washington today, complete with white hoods, masks, Confederate flags, and the only thing more disappointing than this are those defending them in the comments. And this is from a video from Mitchell Miller, who took this at Washington today. This is a good reminder every time they try to pull it was the Republicans who freed the slaves. Ask them who brings Confederate flags to their rallies and their marches. But I was particularly interested in a different flag. This is the Fascio Littorio. This was adopted by Benito Mussolini to represent the National Fascist Party of Italy when Mussolini was in power. Very interesting and intentional choice. This picture is from Reuters and probably the most important that we'll see today. Whatever America these people say they're trying to reclaim is not the one I want to live in.
There is no America. There's no America they can claim. I'm sorry I cut the video off. Because they lost the war. And obviously, that was the stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, who are you? If you're doing that in a mask and you can't say, hon, I was here, or show your children that, why are you doing it? Because you're a fuck. Ooh, I just don't understand why would you walk around with a mask on, but you want people to take you seriously. I'm not going to take you seriously if you're walking around in a mask because you're scared. And you're scared of what you're doing and you know it's dumb because you're wearing a mask. But I'm glad you guys had fun walking around the safe city. It's not going to last too much longer. Or it could be. It could be. I know. It's still up in the air as to what happens after this election. We don't know what could happen. So we're going to stick right there. And right now we're dealing with politics in America. Corruption seems to be that's the thing I think a lot of MAGA don't actually get. The amount of corruption and the stealing of all this money. It's just like, it's just a lot about what is happening. So we're going to look at some politics in America. It's just bad. We're seeing what happened. When I'm watching what's happening to the Democratic Party is shocking me. But I'm not surprised. I didn't leave the Democrats for a reason. I didn't leave the Democrats for no reason. I definitely left them for a reason. And this is the reason. They don't know what they want to do or who they want to be or anything like that.
Hello, my friends. Let's talk about who we are. I've lived outside of the U.S. for 35 years, longer than that, still paying those taxes. Norway, Hong Kong, Singapore, France, Austria, Germany. And in all those places, I did what humans do. I went deep. I had real friendships, late conversations, the kind where politics inevitably or eventually comes up, because in my world, they always do. Not once did anyone across the table in any of those countries tell me that their political party was part of who they were. Not one single time. I would have written it down. It would have stopped me cold. I would have remembered the restaurant, the park, the clouds overhead, the bubbly water in my hand. It never once happened. Then I go to the States and I talk to my American friends. I'm a teacher. I'm from Ohio. I have 2 kids and I'm a Republican. Or I'm a lawyer. I'm from Boston. I have 2 kids and I'm a Democrat. Casually, like a coordinate that helps you locate them on a map. What is that? What is actually happening there? Because human beings are not fixed. We are complex, fluid, contradictory, evolving creatures who change our minds about everything from what we're going to make for breakfast to what our job's going to be. We are bewildering multitudes, each of us, and that's not a flaw, that's the whole design. But a political party is a platform, positions negotiated by strategists, tested in focus groups. It's not a soul. It was never meant to be a soul. When it becomes your soul or the spine of your identity, when it holds you upright, you've given something away that won't come back quietly, my friends. And leaving it isn't an opinion change. It's closer to leaving a marriage, or it's a grief with no funeral, the community you lose, the family dinners that shift or that you're no longer invited to, the version of yourself you bury without ceremony. So people don't leave, do they? They stay well past the point of believing in the party, which means I need to look you directly in the eye. If you have fused yourself to a party and that party has gone rancid, you will start to carry the smell. That's not an accusation. That's just how it works. Instead, you could say, I lean left on some things, I lean right on others, so I vote the person, I vote the character. I'm not a straight line. Are we capable of that kind of honesty? Because that capacity may be the most patriotic thing left available to any of us. And I'll be back.
I like her videos. She's very dramatic, and she reminds me of somebody. Like I've worked for a company that she worked for, and I supported her in IT, that would be my best friend. Something to attract older white ladies, and end up being their personal IT guy, because they tell a lot of good stories. What she's saying makes sense, right? I'm an independent. I quit the Democratic Party a long time ago after I seen that okadoke with Bernie and Hillary, and now I see them. I see them, and once I see something, I can't unsee it. Like once I see people in this country finding it hard to call a genocide, or to say we shouldn't send military aid, or not even military aid, just give them money that we don't have. We're not. This isn't a loan or aid package. We're just giving money to Israel because their lobby and the Jews in this country, second one, have made a way of just winding their politics and their fate into the fate of America, which it doesn't exist. They just made this up, right? It's not in the Bible. It's not anywhere. It's just something they made up in order to keep supplying them with money. And I'm gonna tell you this: the problem I have with Israel now currently is they don't have an out, right? They have put themselves into a stance or a place where the only thing they can do is finish the genocide. There's no going back, right? There's no going back to Palestine or trying to come up with a two-state solution or any of that. They said it's all out. So only thing they can do going forward in their minds is kill all the Palestinians and get rid of them, because they don't even want you to say Palestine. All right. So here's a fight against the DSA, and as far I haven't heard one thing from a Democratic Socialist that wasn't a good idea yet at this point. It's the same stuff we talk about, but because they have DSA, still Democratic Party, now it's communism. But if you go read for yourself, you'll see for yourself that most of the stuff they had, they support is the same stuff that got us Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, unemployment. That's the same stuff. Without that far left group, the progressives, we wouldn't have any social safety net in this country at all, because these white people don't believe in it. Or these, not the white people, I said the rich people. They don't believe in it. They don't care anything about you if you fall and can't get back up. They just stomp on you, get another one, because we're abundant. If you could tell, you can see it right now in how they keep talking about the water issue. They're saying we have to drink a little less water, use a little electricity. They'll take our water, our electricity, they'll kill our vegetation to get their data centers and do this dumb plan. It's not going to work. So here's some information. Here's a video showing people talking about how bad it is with the Democrats right now. And I've been saying that they don't want to win. They could lose the midterms, and we'll be where we are. That's why I can't vote blue no matter who anymore, in good conscience. I can't vote for somebody who supports genocide. I don't support genocide.
Establishment Democrats have had 10 years to defeat Donald Trump and MAGA, and they have utterly failed. The central project of the Biden administration was to snuff out the power of Trump and his movement, and it was an utter failure, specifically because of moderates like Joe Manchin that hamstrung progress that might have held the coalition together moving forward. And now every aspect of the Biden administration is being rolled back, plus like 50 years of progress before that. Establishment Democrats have utterly failed to present a vision of the future that can actually compete with MAGA. And now that like the DSA left insurgent wing of the party is doing exactly that and getting people excited about it, they freak the f out and launch things like Promise to America, which again are just meaningless platitudes that have no substance to them whatsoever. You have had 10 years to defeat Donald Trump. You have had 10 years to put this entire right-wing political movement to bed, and you have failed to do it. And now when another group is saying like, hey, give us a shot, maybe we should do this differently, they finally rally their power, but against the left.
I don't even know if I'd say like people like Joe Manchin like failed to like keep up, failed to make a movement that like rivals MAGA, because it seems like they've actively stood agaggst making a movement to rival MAGA. It doesn't even seem like they failed because they haven't even tried. You know what I mean? I genuinely, I feel like we do have to wonder when we consider the 2024 election once again, in absence of any real autopsy that anybody like the DNC could have done. If we look at the circumstances, right? And if we look at, okay, if Joe Biden doesn't do what he did in Gaza, and if Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema and Maggie Hassan and like Angus King and like whatever other Democrats, if they don't kill the Build Back Better like provisions, does Trump win?
Yeah.
Like, if Joe Biden gets to pass $15 minimum wage, if he gets to extend the child tax credit, and if he gets to do the paid maternal leave that he was trying to do, does Trump win? Those are policies that would have instantly, upon implementation made people's lives just better.
That's exactly the point. Like, Biden ran on, and you know, who knows if Biden was genuine in all the things he ran on, right? Politicians lie when they campaign for office. We all know this. But ostensibly, Joe Biden ran on these like FDR-style changes to the way the American economy worked. Barely a fraction of them got through specifically because of capitulations that were made to the moderate wing. And then by the end of that administration, they were entirely lethargic. Biden was too goddamn old to function. And Kamala Harris did not separate herself from Joe Biden. And like, so the moderate wing of the party, the establishment wing of the party, who has had power concentrated for years at this point and has marginalized the left intentionally, has completely failed to address the systemic causes of Trump and Trumpism. And we're supposed to trust them moving forward, that they can somehow navigate a way out of this like iteration of American fascism. Give me a fucking break.
Dick, we cannot win. We cannot win by voting blue, no matter who. If we don't get enough progressives in office, this will not go too much forward. Remember, all the changes that were made to the presidency and the power that's been afforded him, the next president will still have it if they're a Democrat or Republican. And there's no guarantee that a centrist Democrat such as Joe Biden will do everything that's needed to be done to get this country back on footing. We have to reform the Supreme Court. It's just have to be done. We have to put all these people in jail. It has to be done. The DHS needs to be redone, reformed, or gutted and reformed. It just has to be done. These data centers have to be fought. It has to be done because they're not really doing anything for the country. This is for them. And the whole thing with what's his name, Trump. The whole thing about Trump deciding that he wants to be AI first, he doesn't care about AI. He cares about manipulating the markets, right? Because all the congressmen and all the politicians trade stocks. So these decisions are being made to increase the stock price. When Trump was saying this is a boondoggle year, everything's great, we're back, baby, he's talking about the money he's getting through crypto and stock market. He doesn't care about you not being able to pay your insurance. People, professional people who have families that are making good money are choosing to cancel their insurance because it's gone up so much. And it'll be maybe not as safe, but it makes more sense for them to instead of paying $3,000 a month to an insurance company, it makes more sense for them to save $3,000 a month and then just pay for out of pocket. That's how bad it is right now. And there's plans you could do that with. I'm thinking about doing that myself. I'm thinking about it. But my changes are going to come. I think I just had something happen. Yeah, but my changes are going to come. I think I might have had an issue with the sound there. But anyway, let's go on to the next video. But we see that the biggest problem we're going to have is Democrats. I think Democrats are going to be a bigger problem than the Republicans. And then here's the point. When I say this thing, ask a Democrat, do they believe what's their vision of what's going on, or what's their view from their perspective, what's happening in Gaza, in the Middle East? What's the problem there? What's really going on? And see what they say. I think it's important to see what they say, right? Because at this point, like I'm saying, if you ain't ready to fight Israel about genocide, you're not ready to fight fascists in this country about freedom, as we see for the last 10 years. We know that the leader of the Senate, the minority in the Senate, Chuck Schumer, is a Zionist, and he's getting caught left and right saying whatever Israel needs, he's going to make them get it. So therefore, I question his judgment. I really do question his judgment. But I'm going to give you, here's a quick look at we should be seeing this a lot because reporters, journalists, when you ask these people these questions, where the money's coming from, it's listed how much money they're getting PACs. If, like I say, I get the emails from and the text messages from other candidates who are not taking PAC money. They need money, and I give what I can, the same as you do. You should be doing if you want progressive candidates, and not candidates that take PAC money, because once they take PAC money, candidates that take PAC money, you won't hear from them at all.
Who are some of your biggest donors who fund these things? Is it just one main person or group or company?
He's stuck.
I'm not gonna get into the
you had one job.
Sorry, ask me that again.
Are people wrong to assume that your donors are wealthy people who do not want to see the wage increased so they do not have to pay their employees more?
So wages in Oklahoma are already growing at a really strong pace.
Yeah, but are people wrong to make assumptions like that?
To make assumptions like what? I'm sorry.
You kept going in circles.
So that's what you need to ask them. I say, ask them the hard questions, man. I mean, you need to ask them about, Gaza, IDF, Iran. Ask them the questions to see if they're still under the old narrative or if they are going to accept new information. Because it's important right now. It's like important if this country's either going to go up or down based on this midterm and then the next 2 years. Up or down. That's it. Up or down. I'm 60, so I know I want it to be good for my daughters and any future grandchildren I have, but I don't know what else to do. They don't vote. I don't know what else to do. You really can't make people get involved. They don't want to be involved. So I think this next video might not be the video I want it to be. I think this is a video of a DSA candidate from New York. I think I played it last week, but I think it's something we should hear this week, just to hear a democratic socialist speak as much as possible so that you can see that they're not communists.
And what we need is a mentality of people over profit, right? We need to make sure that we are centering human dignity at the heart of all of our politics. And I think, we've just forgotten that as a society, and we need to recenter human dignity at the heart of this. I think Ta-Nehisi Coates put it best when he said, if I can't trust you to stand against a genocide, how can I trust you to stand up for our democracy? And I think for so many people, that understanding has resonated, right? To know that we have people who can look at something as horrific as what's happening in Gaza and call it what it is, call it a genocide, and that you can trust them with other things. If you can trust them to understand the importance of human dignity and human life in a context like Israel-Palestine, then I can trust you, for example, on issues like healthcare. I can trust you on issues of dignity in the workplace. I can trust you on issues about, reproductive justice. And I think for far too long, we've had folks who will take money from a right-wing lobby like AIPAC and then say that they're progressive, but then when you look at the voting record, that doesn't match. And so I think it's time that we just have representatives who actually have moral clarity on a number of these issues and understand the connection, right? Because you can't tell me that there is no money for schools, there's no money to address childhood poverty, there's no money to address this housing crisis, while voting time and time again to send billions and billions of dollars to a war machine, to a country that's currently enacting a genocide.
Exactly. That's the you would call it the litmus test for me. It should be for anybody that don't like genocide. Anybody that wants this country to do better, that should be a litmus test. Because if you could see Gaza in its current state and not have a problem, you're a ghoul, or you're just a paid off simp. Ain't never been a paid off simp. If that's what you are, be who you are, but don't expect me to support you. I have got to do a better job of setting this up. This is about genocide in Palestine.
Does each U.S. state give to Israel per year federal tax dollars? Now I have the entire map right here, and it shows from each state how.
I'm gonna pause that for 1 second. The reason this is important is because how much money are we giving to Israel if we don't have any money? We have a deficit, right? That money that we're giving to Israel is not part of any money that we are collecting. It's being added to our deficit, right? They gave the billionaires a tax cut and still want to give money away that we don't have to Israel. They cut Medicare and Medicaid in this country and SNAP benefits, and still wants to give money to Israel for war. And they aren't part of our country. This has to stop.
How much money they give per year to Israel. Number one being California, sitting at $2.8 billion. Number two, Texas at $1.4 billion, and number three is going to be Florida at $1.3 billion.
Gee, wonder why those states are all giving Israel our money. It's weird because we get nothing in return. Ask Chat GPT what we get in return from Israel. We get zero from them. They get our men and women to fight wars. They're getting billions from us every year. We have no free healthcare over here, no free schooling. I can guarantee you who does get money back here in this country. That's our politicians. They're all getting fucking kickbacks. You see the grift here? It's like a pyramid scheme, but a really bad joke on the American.
So it's like we give them money, right? We give them money that we don't have, goes to the deficit, and then AIPAC turns around and funnels money back to the candidates. That's the hustle. That's the grift, right? So when you have a candidate who seems to have no problem with getting money from Israel, that's money added to the deficit that you gave to Israel, and then they gave it right back to the politician. That's what you're voting for. That's why I will not vote for Glenn Ivey, Adrian Boafo, or Angela Alsobrook, or Governor Wes Moore anymore. They're in the pockets of AIPAC, and they support genocide. They can say they don't, but you took the money. You took the money, baby. You are guilty. You took the money. And this is interesting. This next video is interesting because it's weird to me that Germany is on the wrong side of another genocide. They seem to have a real problem knowing what to do when they're involved in a genocide. So they're beating up their own people for saying free Palestine. So they're in the wrong side of a genocide again. And if you're on the side of Germany about a genocide, I would really look at myself. I really would look at myself and think about, wow, how can I be standing up for genocide? This is a rough video. This shows you the police are the same everywhere. The police are the same everywhere. They're not here to protect and serve us. They're here to protect and serve the system. So the woman said free Palestine. Right, so if you're only watching this on audio, you won't actually. They grabbed the lady, punched the lady, and all she said was free Palestine. And they punched her, beat her, and dragged her off. Now that's the country that is supposed to be against genocide because they committed a genocide against the Jews. And now the Jews are committing a genocide against the Palestinians and other Middle Easterners. And now they're protecting the people that are committing genocide, beating up the people that are against genocide. Germany, come on, man. That's some sick shit. To be on the wrong side of a genocide twice is just unusual. You got all these laws against that, but you don't see what's happening. You're protecting a country that is committing a genocide against the Palestinian people. They say openly that they don't want the Palestinian people to live. Y'all really should fix that. I think. I have one more video I want to play because I these secret videos keep coming about how bad the Zionists are, the Israeli Jews are about us. How they do, I think they really do believe that they have they should have a power over us and be able to tell us what to do, because as this man's getting ready to say, they are the masters of the universe. I think it's this one. Yep.
A majority of Gen Z have an unfavorable impression of Israel. And my friends, I think the reason for that is that we're losing the digital war. Okay, they're getting their information from TikTok and whatever it is, and we're losing that war. When you think about it, the masters of the universe are Jews. You know, we've got Altman and AI, we got Zuckerberg, we got Sergey Brin, we got the group across the board, Jan Combs, founded WhatsApp. It's us. And we have to figure out a way to win the digital battle. Amelia, we got to get our digital sneakers on so that the truth can prevail over the lies. And when we do that, the future of Israel will be stronger, because a majority of all Americans will support Israel. We'll make that happen. We have to make it happen. Thank you. Baruch Hashem. Thank you.
So, the Israelis are the masters of the universe, and they need to control the media. They called out Zuckerberg, all the people who own the cloud and the social media. So they're going to be trying to convince us that we don't see a genocide, or we're not seeing a genocide. That's over though. I think they're really they have to go forward with it. All right. So that's it for that's the hard news done. I got a couple jokes I'm gonna play. Then we're gonna do some hope, some go-go, and then we out. Like it. Well, still on an hour. So first joke. This is a good guy. Follow him. He's very funny. These videos are very informative.
Hello, I'm Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. The woke mob tried to shut off the power to XAI, so we classified Grok as a weapon that could generate hot pics of minors. Hello, I'm the White House press corps. That's disgusting. And also, those 35 gas turbines are creating massive pollution and clearly violate the Clean Air Act. Listen, nerd, we don't have to follow any laws when it comes to AI. These freedom stacks give Grok the electricity it needs to help us shoot good. But you're not shooting good. You bombed a school full of kids. Oopsie daisy.
So that's about XAI and Grok in Texas. The Texas, I forgot what it's called, the actual data center. But the data center is built with no power lines. So in order to run the data center, they're running diesel generators or gas turbines, whatever. It's a fossil fuel, so it adds pollutants to the air. The people are becoming sick by it. The air is bad. NAACP, and they have no permits to actually do that. And, it's Texas. They don't really care about laws. So the NAACP went to sue them, and then the corrupt regime blocked them, saying they need them to, it's a national security. So this is what we're saying. We have a kleptocracy, meaning that this country is no longer run by us. It's run by corporations, because corporations just step in and say, Pete, handle that, and Pete, handle that. But the people are still breathing bad air for Grok. And apparently it was Grok that signaled, that picked that school off of bad info, and no one checked it and killed those school children for Israel because they like genocide. All right, so yeah, so that's happened. They have this is fascism. They have chosen to run the generators and get people sicker because they can, because they don't want to do laws. They don't run regulations. Now, this next video is funny as hell. It's about a data center. Follow her. her videos because they're hilarious, and they're just about how data centers are running the country. They just do whatever they want to do for a data center, but the money's running out now, so maybe there aren't going to be that many.
Daddy, I found a new location. No, it's perfect. You're going to love it. No, it's nothing here. It's some sort of Amish pleasure chamber or something. So I can do it, Daddy. He said I can get it. I can get whatever I want. Hold on, let me call Juan. Juan, I need you to get on down here. Bring your guys. We're going to put all this up in the cloud.
Now, the thing about that is that that's basically what's happening right now, right? The local governments are just approving these things, and people are waking up to see all the the trees being cleared and data centers being built, right? So that was an exaggeration of that process, how they're just drunk off thing. You know, you got Kevin O'Leary, anybody that opposes data centers, you're now being paid by China. And now we have Peter Thiel saying, because he wants to regulate the Pope Leo, I think that's the one. I'm not Catholic. I don't care about religion. Pope Leo came again and said AI should be regulated, right? Peter Thiel said the Pope is a Chinese agent. What? The Pope is taking money from China because he wants to regulate AI. They don't tell you something. These people are sick. They are sick, and they will stop at nothing to get their goal. And I don't even know what their goal. Their goal is to control the world with money. Just because you got money don't make you smart and give you the right to. Why would you even want to try to manipulate the world systems? Having everyone, well, I can't. Racism is just racism. I don't know what to say about that. But having everyone against everyone is not going to end well. But I don't really think you care about everything ending well. All right. So that's that. See you next week. No, we got one thing I want to do. We got to do some spoken word. I'm going to do my official spoken word artist of the Transparent Conversations, Elevated Exchanges, podcast, YouTube, media conglomerate. It's Kira J. Kira J just dropped a new poem on her Instagram. Go check it out. She has albums. She has records, tracks, books, and she does live appearances around the country. She's on tour. I think right now, from what I can see, she's on the Tonight's Conversation panel that does all the dating advice. I don't like those, but it'd be good exposure for her. Anyway, so this next poem is going to be about closure or having to no contact. You know, and I'm polyamorous, so I'm in the polyamorous community. Sometimes we talk about transitioning relationships, and sometimes you have to not be around that person for a while so that you can transition relationship, get all those hard feelings out. Hopefully everything ended. You guys were able to talk it through. But before that, people were just like, in the real world, relationships don't end very well all the time. I've been very guilty of it. My second divorce was one of the hardest things I ever had to go through. I did not want a divorce. My wife had to get a divorce. I understand why. I was crazy in my addiction, and she had to get a divorce, and she did, and I'm glad she's happy now. And I wish her nothing but happiness. It was hard for me. I had to do a lot to get out of it. But this is that time when you first break up and you're trying to figure out why. And you thought you were going to be with that person for the rest of your life. And then you took things for granted, which is what I did. And I didn't take care of things I need to take care of. So this is why this resonates with me. And I get something from her every time she does a poem. I get something from it. So, ladies and gentlemen, Kira J, new poem.
I wrote you a letter, then I burned it. Because I just needed to get it off my chest by writing it, even though I'll never mail it. Helped me put my mind at rest sometimes. I text you, then delete it. See, I get the feelings out on my end. It's therapeutic writing paragraphs that I know I'll never send. I stayed in the bathroom talking to the mirror for 3 hours yesterday. I figured someone ought to hear the words I know I'll never say. This is how I've been processing my grief. And even though it isn't fair, it's best not to bother him with your emotions when you know he doesn't care. So I've been writing my thoughts in a journal. But this isn't me, so I don't really see it last, and I haven't been able to eat in days, so I've convinced myself I'm fasting. It's been a mix of sleeping too much or not sleeping at all, and keeping my volume up on high just in case you ever call. This is what no contact looks like. No more staying up all night, falling asleep on the phone, and all the things you used to do together, you start doing them alone. It's stopping yourself from hitting send when you see a funny reel. It's not picking up that fucking phone no matter how you feel. It's hard. It's gut-wrenching. But it's a necessary pain because no matter how much you miss them, you know that person's not the same. So you cry as much as you need to. Mm-hmm. You curl up in a ball on the floor. And you let time do what it needs to do. Until it doesn't hurt no more.
So that is like true. When I broke up, it was finally like pretty sure that the divorce papers were signed. I was going through it. I had to create at one point, this was before, I couldn't listen to slow music anymore. I couldn't listen to romantic music for a long time. It took me a long time. And then the way I could start listening to it, I had to start listening to breakup music first. And then I just slowly built myself up. And another thing that helped me was to create a password with something, you have to keep passwords for your job, signing computers, things like that. So I created a password to remind me of what I need to do. Like my first password was let it go, blah, 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 blah. Kept doing those things, and writing. I wrote a lot, and I started this podcast. The first iteration of this podcast was called The Melancholy Guy, because I was melancholy, but I was melancholy before I got divorced. Anyway, it's another long story. Those issues are available. Those episodes are available on YouTube. So that was Cure J. I really appreciate that poem. I always do. It reminded me of it gets better. Okay, and I'm still doing my my haikus. So let's talk about the meditation. Our meditation sign. Let us think together. Last week, we talked about there's only one rule: I will not lose. Now, I thought about this all week long, and to me, I know what it means for Jay-Z. Like, he is a winner, winner, winner. He's a New Yorker. He likes to win money. That's how they keep score with money, right? So for him, it's money, it's power. For me, it's just like, I will not lose, meaning that whatever I put my mind to, I will do it. You know what I'm saying? But the trick for me is to put my mind to it, because my mind doesn't work. I have problems with delayed gratification and what's the other one? Delayed gratification, and I don't care about money. And the other one is I don't really always know what I want to do. And sometimes for me to, most of the time, for me, when I decide to do something, the people that are around me right away gotta go. And that's been a thing. I'm much better at it as I got older. Like when I want to start my DJ company, I started it, success, business change, I decided to get rid of it. So this, now what I'm doing, the media company, is what I'm working on now, and I will not lose. I will keep doing it until I succeed. Well, I'm successful now. I was driving in a way that I thought I was going to want to try and monetize this. I don't really care about that anymore. I'm going to work on the equipment more so, and the skills I need to produce videos. So a lot more to come on that. So next week, let's meditate on this. I think so. Yeah. Let's meditate on this. It's not Nelson Mandela. This is quoted to someone else. I think I wrote it down in the notes. This should have been, I don't know. You can't trust memes. You got to look them up, right? Because people will just attribute a saying to someone and it not be true. And Joel A. Barker, that's who actually said this. Action without vision is only passing time. Vision without action is merely daydreaming, but vision with action can change the world. All right, let's think about that for next week, and then we'll talk about what it means. One thing I know that I heard is when you're starting out, that you're the only one that sees the vision. I'm the only one that knows the vision of what I want to do. So me explaining it to people and them not seeing it doesn't really matter. I could ask you for your advice or how you would do something, but only I actually know what I want to do and where I want to go. Okay, cool. All right, so let's go to, I think that's it. All right, so if we see y'all next week, what y'all want to do now? I guess y'all want to hear some go-go. Do y'all want to hear some go-go? Yeah, let's play some go-go. I've been liking this guy. I've been playing his go-go, his beat, his go to his Facebook page. His name is. Go to his Facebook page. I don't know his name. What did I do with that? That's so weird. It got cut off. Okay. So anyway, I'm gonna play the go-go. It's gonna be the What Band, local here, and check out the guy whose name I have. I've been using his videos. They're very good, very cinematic. Definitely something I want to get into too. But it's always good to hear some go-go at the end of these episodes and every day. All right, I'll see y'all a few days. I don't know when exactly. Most likely it'll probably be like Saturday, Sunday. But maybe I'll see you at the go-go. Go check them out. They was rocking this night. All right, y'all, I'm out. I will see y'all next week. Be good. Stay in the fight, stay woke, and I'll see you next time. Peace out. Peace out.